amount of code that that was invested in for 1 year, right? And taking all this apart. So the reason is when we wanted to make the like even for the quiver, right? Is like, oh, how do we make the quiver without having it have these knock-on effects that makes the legal ESP worse, all this stuff, right? So it basically comes down to, okay, we have to refactor again the inventory system or find ways to kind of like hack our system. And we're trying to, it was basically like, oh, we're thinking the best way forward is let's get our top guys to work just on redoing the inventory system. But if that happens, everything else comes to a standstill, right? So the recent decision is, okay, we're going to try to figure out how to rehack our system and just add things on and get more features out, even though it's pretty janky right now. So like the Quiver system that's coming out this time is going to be just a simplified version on top of the current inventory system. So we were trying to use the Quiver as, hey, this is our opportunity to go deep into the code and tear out and figure out and remake the inventory. But that's a huge
만족스럽진 않아요. 그거를 우리가 너무 하루 만에 키워드 만들었기 때문에 그거는 정말 원하지 않는 방식이었지만 근데 그래도 플레이어들은 그거 원하고 그리고 있으면 실제로 도움이 될 거니까.
So the quiver that goes in, so it was taking a long time. We're promising quiver, but then the reason on the tip of the iceberg is the quiver. But what we really wanted to do is go deep in and fix this entire inventory system. Right now, the quiver that's coming out is just we just added a little flag on top of the current iceberg, right? So he's saying is that he's not very satisfied with it because that was not what he originally wanted to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is the inventory system coming along? Is that kind of like where we're at now, or are you saying it still needs a bunch more work?
Yeah, inventory system은 지금 멈춰 있는 거죠.
멈춰 있죠.
Yeah, it's on hold. Yeah.
근데
okay.
So 우리가 담당하고 푸시하면은 뭐 올해 안에는 그래도 좋은 결과 있지 않을까?
So he's
만들어야 돼요. Yeah. 올해 안에는 정리해야 돼요.
It's on hold.
Okay.
It's not. Yeah.
Big debt.
Yeah. So like you said, the original question is about the technical debt. Or is it getting cleared up? So it's yes and no, right? So we're doing more of that investigation into it, and so the other issue is that the person that actually made it is no longer here, right? So it's like we're trying to figure out what's going on under the hood too, right? So
right.
Yeah. So there are things like this that are critical systems that are heavily integrated that are on hold, and so but at the same time, the expectation is you want everyone wants new features, new toys to play with. It's like, okay, right now we're just delicately placing it on top of balancing these little rocks, playing Jenga again. So I think
is that like lag hit? Is that little like lag hiccup when players are coming into range? Is that also contributing to like the netcode issues that people experience sometimes with like the little delays trying to block arrows and people swings and all that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's pretty. It goes down to the core, right? It goes down to the server performance. It goes down to. And that's why but this is just one of the really complex systems.
Right.
So,
okay.
So,
all right. Okay. So let's, I guess, shift a little bit toward like more game mechanics related stuff. How do you guys feel about like the current, like game mode count, queue count? Like, is gear in the game where you want it to be?
게임 모드가
네, 그거 그냥 뭐 대한님 그냥 설명해주면 되겠다. 우리
기어는
Q 진짜 신경 안 써.
네.
우리 신경 안 써. 뭐 어느 정도 쓰지만
네.
우리가 생각하는 거는
지금 너무 많잖아요.
근데 지금 시점에서는 어느 정도 많을 수밖에 없다라고 우리는 결론을 내린 거예요. 그러니까 왜냐면 지금 현재 기어 갭이 우리가 게임 모드를 줄이기 위해서 다분히 노력했지만 다양하게 시도를 했고 정말 많은 노력을 했지만 현재 기어 갭에서 최소한 뭐 노멀 하이롤러 그리고 뭐 PVE까지 하면 뭐 이런 것들은 유지할 수밖에 없다. 그리고 솔로 듀오 트리오도 유지할 수밖에 없다. 이렇게 결론을 냈기 때문에 어느 정도 많은 큐는 가지고 간다.
Yeah. Okay. So he's talking about
완전히 줄일 수 없다.
So the queue count. So the game mode queues is that we understand that there's too many, right? So, and it's directly related to the gear gap. Yeah.
Okay.
At the same time, so they're doing work on, kind of balance, I guess, rebalancing some of the gear gap. Trying to reduce it a little bit, but at the same time, the gear gap also has to do with like how good loot feels, right, and the loot progression. And so we have to be very careful about like not doing, hey, this semi-white where it's like, okay, there's, very little gear gap, but at the same time, it has, huge detrimental effect on item progression feel. And so it's that balance of like, okay, having a wide enough gear gap, but being able to place it, split it up with the game modes where you don't feel like, oh, this is an impossible task. I think that's somewhere we kind of failed this previous season is that, the gear gap, especially with some of the, like we removed some of the things that you could do with the gem socketing. It made it so the time commitment to get the top end gear.
그래서 전 이걸 설명해 주는 게 좋을 것 같아요. 우리가 이제 그 게이팅 시스템 만든 거랑 그리고 우리가 이제 이번 시즌에서 하고 싶은 어쨌든 기어 갭을 완전히 없애는 거는 아이템을 먹는 맛이 없어지니까 그건 좋은 게 아닌 거고 우리가 여태까지 많은 실험을 했잖아요. 그래서 우리가 원하는 건 시즌 프로그레션이 있을 때 게임을 이제 시즌 동안에 좀 많이 했을 때 이 하방을 올려주는 형태로 쫓아갈 수 있게 만들어주는 게 우리가 하고 싶은 목표잖아요. 그걸 좀 잘.
Yeah, so basically it goes into he wants to explain kind of the thinking behind the upcoming season. Some of the big changes you're gonna see in the season 8, early access season 8 is so because we think that that kind of feeling of item progression, just overall progression, and then the jumps between the gear gaps and how they're connected with the mode. Is like those are the things that we kind of fell on our face this last season. Is that's the stuff that we've been working on for this upcoming season is to get that smooth out. Make it feel like you have the right type of you are feeling some kind of progress and kind of help if you commit the time into the game. Is you feel like, hey, you're making progress, and on the lower end of this, the gear power gap is that investment in time is helping you, keep up. And so that's the stuff that we've been working on. In terms of like the game modes too, is that you're right. It's there are too many, right? And I think even this last season we kind of try to expand even more modes, right? So one of the big things is that like he's gonna share like one of the, but so there is an effort to like try to reduce some of the game modes. So one of the things that it was an experiment, it didn't work out well at all was the high roller adventure mode. So that's going to be removed. It actually went out there. Our numbers, it was the worst amount of engagement ever.
Okay.
With any new game mode, it kept on going down. So it's just like like Squire to Heroes. When we put that out, it was like it started kind of slow, and it kept on going up. And now it's like a pretty substantial group.
That's my favorite game mode. I love playing that game mode.
yeah, so we took a look at it. It's like, oh, okay, where can we cut some of that fat? So that's kind of removed. And then also, I think he's sharing a screenshot. So this is kind of trying to guide people, get people to, make the
Chad,
maps and
I'll pull it up. You guys can keep talking. I'll pull
the
it up.
mode. Yeah, so to make the maps and the modes feel like you're making progression. So a lot of the stuff that it's going to be stuff that you're going to feel, done in the dungeon itself. It's like making the game feel like there's more POIs. It's kind of more bumpy in terms of like the tension and the, I think one of the things for our game is that we have a high level of tension for most of the overall map. But at the same time, because of that, it's pretty homogeneous. So it's like you don't have really huge points of interest, right? Maybe like the boss and bosses. That's about it, right?
So you're looking at adding ranks for people to access maps, like certain maps.
So yeah, we're gonna lock behind. Okay, so if you look at it, it's basically the adventure rank. Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking at locking it behind adventure ranks. Okay.
Yeah. So basically we're gonna make it so everyone could do the adventure rank. So even squires could do it up to a certain point. But the high rollers are still locked behind the legendary account. And then for the upper echelons of the adventure rank, you still have to go to the high rollers. But
우리 스크린샷을 보여줘야 돼요.
보여주고 있어.
보여줘야 돼. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this going to be? I'm guessing this is like a placeholder image. So is it going to be tiered? Like, are the maps going to be progressive, or is it all opening up at Apprentice 3?
So we have the ability to do it progressive, but I think this time we're just going to test it out with all at Apprentice 3, where the normal high roller opens all up at Wanderer.
Okay. So does that mean you're tiering this too? So like in normal dungeons, you can get, like this says, you can get up AP up to Wanderer 1. Is it going to be the same level of adventure point like reward earnings that you could get in HR if you're running like normal mode? Is it the same point system regardless?
Yes, it's the same. We haven't, it's very. So if you're familiar with the current adventure rank, you're familiar with. It's going to feel pretty much the same, except now you could do it in the normal modes, right?
Okay.
노멀에서도 올릴 수 있다. 캡이 있을 뿐.
Does this mean that you're keeping the PvE high roller stuff, or are you getting rid of it?
No, get rid.
Yeah, we're getting rid of the PvE high rollers.
PvE high rollers going on.
That had very low engagement, and engagement kept on dropping off.
Okay, I think I misheard you before. All right. Okay. Let me switch back. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so at the beginning of the season, you had this function that was surrounded with like queue times, meaning that you would hold a queue for people to get into a match, trying to see if it's going to fill up based on like, I guess population factors on a certain server. Is that still going to be a thing that's on in the next season, or did you guys do away with that?
So that's something that we could control on our 그거 있었잖아요. 버킷 집어넣고 이렇게 하는 거. So that's something we could control on our end in real time. We could turn it off and on. So it has to do more with the player population and the flow. So I think when the player population is low, we have to turn it off. otherwise you're waiting for no reason anyways, right? It's going to be, so it's one of our tools to try to combat, if when there's a lot of people in the matchmaking pool, is to try to combat teaming, right? So it makes it harder for you to time, all going in together. So it's something that we could utilize anytime, but again, it's just going to be dependent upon, hey, how many players there are in the active player pool. So, okay. I mean, that's pretty much why we turned it off and on.
Okay. All right. So earlier, I guess yesterday for you guys, you mentioned in Vincent's chat that Goblin Recovery was changing. How is it changing?
Oh, what is changing?
Goblin Recovery, the insurance.
Sorry. Yeah. So, again, this goes back to, trying to build up the baseline, right, through progression, right, through, and so I think one of the things is we want to make it so, hey, even the Goblin Recovery is something that you can start investing your time into to build up your affinity, and you can start getting some type of security by doing the Goblin Quest, right? So it's basically we shut off the Goblin Recovery for, what is it? The high roller and normal, right?
네, 이제 다 켤 거예요.
Yeah, but we're gonna turn it on, and then through the Goblin Quest, you could actually improve your, odds of
returning rate.
Yeah, the returning rate of items through the Goblin Recovery.
Okay. So the idea is to allow. Are you allowing for it in like all game modes?
Yes.
Okay. And then,
so it's going to be in all modes. Yes. Right now, it's only in the PvE, right?
Right now, it's only in PvE, right? So you're going to, somebody goes into HR, I don't know, 100,000 gold kit, whatever, they can still get it back in insurance.
So they won't get the entire thing back, right? And then the amount of the kit that they get back is based on how much affinity they have with the Goblin.
So you have to build affinity with Goblin, right? And is it an RNG thing, or do you pick which items you're gonna insure?
No, it's the RNG. It's a percentage, right? So right now we could easily set that right now already.
Okay.
The original Goblin Recovery.
Yeah, there was always a chance that you would lose stuff before when it came down to it.
You build it up, you improve, so you get more and more of your setback. Right.
Right.
That's not taken.
So is there a possibility of getting the Goblin Merchant to 100%?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah. SDF thinks that, you could eventually get it to 100%.
Okay.
왜냐면 이번 시즌은 어쨌든 서플라이를 우리가 충분히 주는 게 목표니까 그걸 통해서 변하는 걸 보고 싶은 거니까.
So this goes back to supporting up the bottom end is that right now, one of the kind of the key words for this upcoming season is to kind of induce a little bit of item inflation rather than gold inflation. So it's going to have a kind of deflationary effect on the gold. And, I think that has to do with the minimum time commitment to compete at the very upper end.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're trying to make it a little bit like when you do have these setbacks, have the setbacks be a little bit softer.
And is the void like the bottomless pit and Ice Abyss and that kind of stuff, is that going to provide Goblin Recovery, or is that still not going to send back items?
그러면 보이 같은 거 하면 이제 Goblin Recovery 그거 해줄 거예요.
PVE에서는 해주고,
yeah. So we specifically have it. So on PvE, it'll still recover, but on PvP, because we know that people.
I mean, guys will grieve on purpose for sure. Yeah.
So if you do that, it's 100% chance of you losing your items, right?
Okay.
So it's basically kind of incentives. Yeah.
그래서 플레이어 서포트하는 거 이제 설명하고 있으니까 워크숍도 설명해주고 싶은지 아니면.
Yeah. So 먼저 들어보고요.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you have there's like this overarching meta, and you've already made, I guess, comments on this in Vincent's stream as well in the last, 12 hours, talking about like how you're going to be modifying like an awful lot with like movement mechanics and the ratting and that kind of stuff. I guess we can just go down the list for stuff like druids and rogues ratting gear. How is that changing? Because we've been getting told, I guess, that it's changing, but we don't know how.
까마귀 로고도 많잖아요. 그러니까 주님이 그 빈센에서
제가 말한 거는 크로우 플레이가 없어질 거라고 얘기한 게 아니라 그 immediately 할 수 있는 그래서 이제
so he's saying okay so yeah he says he didn't say that it's going to get rid of ratting play. What he was saying is
immediately shapeshift with shapeshift mastery.
Yeah, so what he's saying is that one of the big things was with the
there will be no
with the druids is that he's getting rid of the immediate shapeshift.
그것도 없어질 거고, 그다음에 time distortion 그 소설어 거 있잖아요. 그 시간 왜곡 그것도 즉시 지원은 이제 없어질 거예요.
And then he's also getting rid of the instant casting with the time distortion.
무한하게 체력을 채울 수 없을 거예요.
And there's going to be a big change to the warlock where they're not going to be able to infinitely have, raise their health.
네, 그래서 이건 이제 우리 디자인 철학을 조금 바꾸고 있는.
So he's saying they're limited on healing?
No, so 그 얘기해도 돼요. So yeah, so it's basically warlocks they're only going to be able to recover up to the recoverable health.
네, 그래서 워락은 이제 그냥 스펠만 쓰고 있을 때는 다 채울 수 있겠지만 피해를 입으면
so as long as they don't take extra damage and the damage from their own spells, they could get that all back, right? But if they take external damage, then now the top limit is limited.
So any of the damage that they take themselves from their own spells will all be considered recoverable health. But if they get hit by anything, if they take damage from any outside source, they can only fill up to the top of the recoverable health bar from their own like healing ability.
Yes.
So you have to drink health pots.
Yes. So basically what he's saying is that now he has a new kind of philosophy for the class design, right? So the original was like, hey,
좀 더 판타지가 있고, 뾰족하고 이런 것들을
he wanted to be very, very sharp, very, he wanted, he comes from wanting to build like a roguelike, right? And making
does that apply to Life Drain too?
그 Life Drain도 똑같아요. He says Life Drain. You could that's a special.
Okay, so it's just Torture Mastery stuff.
Yeah, the Torture Mastery. Okay. But going back to his change in thought of overall class design is that originally it was supposed to be like like a roguelike game. You can build these like superheroes, but because of the PvP aspects and then the negative effects that has on the other player and because there's a lot of cracks that are coming out and trying to patch each individual crack one by one, he's like, okay, so he's kind of changed his overall thought process on class balance. Is like, okay, that kind of just going for these super builds is
더 쉬운 밸런스로 가는 거고. 그래서 어떤 사람들은 더 재밌을 거고 어떤 사람들은 이제 더 재미없을 거고 그냥 그렇게 될 거지만 뭐
does that mean that Torture Mastery is being changed so that it doesn't have as much of a health cost on the casting?
그거는 그러니까 Torture Mastery
그건 그대로요. 네. 근데 거기는 이제 조절될 수 있어요. 앞으로.
So he says right now it's the same. These are things that he's willing to tweak.
네, 이번 시즌 처음 시작하면 밸런스 그냥 난리 날 거야. 그냥 아예 그냥.
So he's saying that when the season starts, the balance of the classes is going to be crazy.
네, 루트가 그 플레이 스타일도 다 바꿔야 되고요. 그냥 새로 적응해야 돼요.
So he's saying, everything is going to be up in the air. You're going to have to rethink about,
왜냐면
what you knew before.
그러니까 우리 게임에 불필요하게 있었던 이제 잘하기 위해서 해야 되는 행동들 그런 것들이 이제 뉴 플레이어들이 왔을 때 그게 베리어 엔트리 베리어가 돼가지고 사람들 많이 막고 있기 때문에 그러니까 그런 이제 뭐 예를 들어 모든 액션에 다 점프를 해야 된다거나 뭐 백워드가 너무 느리다거나 뭐
Yeah, so
이런
he's
것들은
saying
다
that there's
제가
other substantial changes that have been made to the I guess movement player actions in the game to make it, you know, just more I guess more easier to understand. So he's saying like, oh, okay, you know, right now you have to always constantly jump to offset the movement slows from that we have on, you know, taking out items or
right.
Weapons
You mentioned something about jump spam not being as much of a thing anymore.
Yeah, so he's been working, you know, really.
I'm feeling 50% download game and try it out again, and 50% can't be fucked until game is in such a good state that I'm asked to come back.
Some of the negative effects of like, you know, the huge move penalties when you're moving backwards. And so he's working on a lot of stuff to make it just feel like it flows, you know.
네, 뭐 예를 들면 그런 것들 있잖아요. 그러니까 무기를 더 빨리 넣기 위해서 유틸리티 아이템을 들고 다시 넣는 X를 눌러서.
Yeah, and so trying to get rid of those kind of little if you know like those kind of
트리키한
the tricky
스킬들 그런 거는 이제 없어야 된다. 그런 게 많으면 뉴 플레이어들이 와서 적응하기가 되게 힘들고 그럼 우리 게임 플레이 베이스가 늘어나기 힘든 거야.
Yeah, so he's just trying to make it more you know, like your actions actually meet your expectations, you know, remove a lot of the, like the little tricks and stuff that only the super high-end players really know, like, oh, okay, when I'm switching out a weapon is if I switch to a utility item and then switch, it actually reduces, it could save you that little, you know, fraction of time and reduce that move speed penalty and stuff like that. Is like those things add up, and for new players that's totally counterintuitive, right? And so trying to remove those kind of things, it's like, oh, okay, if I put it away, it's just put it away, take it out. You know, I don't need to go through these kind of weird combinations to get that maximum optimal output, right? That doesn't really make sense. So those are the kind of things that he's worked on to. So that's why he's saying is like all the stuff that, you know, is the player movement, the player kind of combat feel, these kind of sticky, you know, it feels kind of sticky, right? Sometimes, like, that's why you're jumping all the time, right? It's like as soon as, you know, if you're not doing that, it's like you feel like you're stuck in place, right? And you're very vulnerable. So he's saying that is part of that identity, but at the same time, that brings this kind of huge entry barrier, and at the same time, it's counterintuitive, right? So trying to make it more like, oh, okay, if I want to get around this, you know, the game itself is about positioning too. So it's super important. It's like, oh, okay, maintaining that kind of momentum and speed is like, oh, why do I have to learn all these kind of tricks to be able to get around that, right? And so making it feel like you could still have those tools to reposition, but at the same time, you're not, you know, jump spamming, you're not, you know, multi-juggling, you know.
네, 그리고 이제 또 하나 이 무먼트 메타를 보면서 가장 크게 해결하고 싶었던 거는 뭐 예를 들면 랜드마인 로그한테 처음에 이제 찔리기 시작했을 때 그냥 이제 죽어야 된다거나 이런 게 싫었고, 그다음에 뭐 가드를 하거나 공격을 하면 이제 어택 슬로우나 가드 디펜스 슬로우 때문에 너무 느려져서 플레이어 캐릭터가 그 다른 포텐셜을 다 잃어버리는 거, 포지셔닝이나 어보이드하거나 뭐 더 추가로 공격하거나 패리하거나 이런 거에서 되게 제한을 받는 그런 것들을 다 정리해서 약간 좀 더 스킬 익스프레션이 좀 더 가능하게 그렇게 만드는 게 지금 목표예요.
Yeah. So okay.
조금 어렵지만.
He's giving me a lot right now. So I'm trying to like condense it, but basically it's going down to like you know, he really wanted to attack the movement meta, right? That head on. And so digging down into it is like, oh, okay, what's causing, you know, why do people feel that the overwhelming need that, oh, I have to always max out my speed, right? And because you know, it is essentially our game is a game about positioning, and having that kind of movement speed advantage makes huge impact, right? But then what are the things that are amplifying those kind of penalties, right? And so that's the things that he's been trying to address directly, right? So he's talking about like there's a bunch of those kind of penalties stuck onto all different types of actions, and so all of that has been adjusted. That's why he's saying it's like, hey, when you go in, all the previous balance that was based on the previous player character movement system is a lot of it that's going to be upturned, right? Because now you're gonna feel like you have a lot more freedom about like where I move, when you're parrying, when you're blocking. Yeah, it's like right now it's like, oh, you're in this like turtle mode, right? And you feel like sluggish. Or when you're trying to parry, it's that you get very slowed down, and so it makes it like if you're against multiple adversaries and where you have to reposition, if you're doing this, it makes it very difficult. So we're giving you a little bit more freedom when you're in those kind of stances.
Okay.
So
for more potential.
More potential, and then to take some of that weight off of the solution to every problem is just more movement speed. Right.
Does that also mean that you're modifying the mechanics that allow classes to like dash? Because you have classes that are obviously more mobile than others.
어떤 클래스는 더 바꿔요?
갭 클로저는 바꿔요.
그런 거는 뭐 바꾸는 거 있어요?
그쪽에서는 바뀌는 건 없어요. 근데 그건 지금 베이스 빌드 한 거고.
Okay, so he's saying he built the base. He hasn't touched all that yet. But so he knows about like the classes that have like the gap closing right now.
네, 그래서 이제는 모든 무기가 디펜스가 있고 모든 무기가 패리가 있어요.
Yeah, so the other thing is, so going in with this, his philosophy here is that every weapon from now on will have a block or a parry.
네, 그리고 블락은
every weapon will have a block or a parry.
Yeah.
네, 그리고 블락 리액션이 있을 때도 다시 막을 수 있어요. 인피니트 블락도 가능하고.
Yeah, and so now the other thing is, as long as because blocking in our game is because it is target based, or you have to, or it's physics based, right? And so we had that penalty. It's that even if you successfully block, it's tough as it is that you also have a penalty is where you're kind of stuck in place and you're in this animation. Is that it's gonna blocking is going to be more substantial. It's going to have more advantages. You're not going to be stuck. He's saying like, oh yeah, you could do infinite blocking as long as you could, predict where they're hitting you.
여러 명이 때려도 다 막을 수 있게.
Yeah. So yeah, one of the things is that he wants to, if this is a success, is that a guy that's really good is even multiple attackers. He could do block, 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 or block, parry, 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 and then.
Okay. So you're trying to reward more mechanical skill, but not necessarily just base it around like being able to run faster than other people. Is kind of the idea.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Glad we got through that. All right. So we identified. Oh wait, hold on. Let me see. I think we already asked this one. Oh, okay. This is about like system design, but I think we kind of already covered this question. This was something that one of the other boys wanted to ask. Okay, Achilles lantern bug. You can put Achilles strike on a lantern and throw the lantern.
지금은 그걸 중요하게 보진 않았는데 밸런스 파트에서 아마 조정할 거예요. 그런 게 문제가 있다면. 이제는 우리 밸런스 팀이 있잖아요.
Okay, yeah. So he's saying, okay,
잘 봐주고 있고.
so he hasn't looked at that directly. There is a balance, actual balance team now.
Paul,
the infamous Paul.
Yeah,
Paul. It's not SDF. Yeah. They get into arguments all the time, so it's not But there is a balance team, so he's gonna make sure that they know about that issue again to make sure that it's addressed for it's coming out. Yeah.
Okay.
So the Achilles lantern.
Is there any other than like the movement related stuff and like the instant cast stuff? Are we going to see like new skills, perks, abilities, spells?
Yeah,
for any classes.
So
only fighter and
yeah. So at the start, he wanted to do like an overhaul of the original set of classes because they're kind of getting a little bit long in the tooth compared to the newer ones that were coming out. So he started that, but right now for this update it starts with the fighter and the barbarian. So they're gonna get a lot more kind of crazy skills.
네, 그리고 시즌 중에는 로브랑 레인저는 업데이트.
And then his plan is during the season he's also gonna not rework. So add new perks and skills for the rogue and the ranger. So that's the plan for this season.
그 다음이 이제 클레리어 우리죠.
And then after that, it's the cleric and the wizard.
Okay.
For season 9.
All right. So we are going to see like a whole bunch of new stuff for, I guess, fighter and barb, and then like toward the end of the season, the other two classes.
Rogue and the ranger.
Rogue and ranger.
Yes.
Okay. Any teaser ideas on like a skill or a perk or?
Okay.
영상을 찍어놓은 게 있긴 한데 그게 너무 그 인디벨롭먼트 영상이어서 그냥 말로 해주는 거 같이 지금은 좋을 것 같아요.
Pete is just loving life right now.
페어랜드
Oh yeah, so yeah, you're gonna see FPS view barbarian whirlwind skill.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's huge fun and.
Wait, is the whole camera going to spin and everything when you're doing it?
Yeah, I love
it's it. FPS view whirlwind, so yeah, take that as you will.
It's perfect.
Yeah. There's actually some skill involved when
it's so fun
to land the hits on that.
All right.
Stuff like that. Fighter has fortified ground where he's like, hey, come get it, kind of.
And disarm.
There's a disarm.
You're adding a disarm mechanic.
It's in there. I think it's gonna be a nightmare to balance because being on the receiving end of it a couple times already, it's like I was like.
I mean, other than the disarm song from Bard, but.
But there are these kind of big skills that are going in that have big impact. Barbarians could just start throwing whatever weapon they have on hand.
You're adding throw?
Yeah, it's called weapon.
Okay. So, yep. All right.
Yeah, there's a couple other.
Sounds like it could get interesting.
You're going to be. Yeah. So it's almost like a MOBA, but if not. Yeah. We don't.
MOBA.
Yeah. But
so just our style.
All right.
It's
okay. All right. So you also mentioned that Arena is not going to be solo self-found this season. Is there going to be a gear cap then?
Yeah. Epic.
에픽 할 거요?
네.
Epic.
네. 그리고 이제 레귤러 시즌이기 때문에 그 바뀌지 않아요. 그런 거는.
Yeah. So
웬만해서 뭐 시즌 단위로만 바뀔 거예요. 만약에 뭐 바뀌면.
So he's very sorry about changing that in the middle of the season. So So the answer is that it's gonna be no SSF. It's gonna be the gear cap is gonna be at Epic.
Okay.
And there will be no sub boss.
And no mini bosses, but regular mobs, but no mini bosses.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. That's what he's saying.
There will be monsters, but no sub.
So yeah, the normal, no sub bosses, just the normal monsters.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's free for us. I think.
What do you guys think, Chad? For Arena, normal mobs, okay?
normal maps?
기본 그러니까
lots of
기본
W's.
네.
Lots of W's.
Okay.
변수로서
Yeah.
서버스는 너무 힘들죠.
Yeah.
특히 토스 할 수 있는 이제 클래스들이 좀 있으니까요.
Okay. And then there was mention of like volcano lava stuff or whatever with the maps.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
I think he sent you like a little,
oh yeah, there's like a little video trailer or something that you sent me when the thing started. All right, hold on. Let me cue this up.
Teaser trailer.
Yeah, teaser trailer.
Yeah. Hang on. I just want to make sure that I've got it. Like
so this is for under the Goblin Caves. If you go deeper down,
okay.
We want it. So it's more, hey, that kind of.
Wait, you said deeper down in Goblin?
Yes.
Are we talking like Red Door?
Yes.
What? There's a second level to Goblin Cave? All right, hold on. I'm playing it. I'm playing it right now. Okay, this looks fire. All right, like literal fire. But yeah, that's sick. That looks sick. Here, Chad, I'm gonna turn the volume down, and I'll just put it on replay. So you're adding a second level to Goblin Cave. Are there any like rules that have to be followed to enter it? Is it just a standard red door? Like, how does it work?
Yeah. So again, it's going to be the first iteration, so it's a work in progress. So right now it's accessible through the red doors. We're looking at things to make it more thematically, fitting. But right now, yeah, it's red doors. It's going to be a kind of a smaller map right now because we wanted to just get it out there with the new monsters. So I think the big thing is that it's the new monsters and there's a new boss, right? And so that's the thing that we want to get people to engage in first, right?
So you guys are adding another map. That's dope, dude. I think people have been asking for a Goblin like level 2 forever. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think, and then this also coincides with a new race too.
Actually, level 3.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So
what?
This is.
You're adding another race?
Oh, so yeah. So there's a race, and then so the goblins. So I think this also goes in with like the original vision for what SDF wanted was like all the maps are supposed to be 3 layers. So if you go back to, you remember like how we catered with the Forgotten Castle,
right?
Is the one that's open on all the maps, right? And you have to unlock the other campaigns. Is because our numbers show it, that the player engagement shows it, is that the Forgotten Castle is basically our vision for, or the closest to what our vision for like a full campaign is, right? It's three floors. It's supposed to get engagingly harder, and that's the stuff that we're working with. Is I think we haven't succeeded, but that's the stuff that we're kind of starting to tune, is to make it have ever increasing risk, and then having but more greater rewards as you go down. And so the end goal for all the other levels is to become like their version of Forgotten Castle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you'll also see with this Forgotten Castle, there's a little bit of rework because it's multi-floored, is that we're kind of exploring and trying to make it so it has different amounts of, I guess, tension, like stress, right? And I think our maps are still pretty small, especially with the PvP factored in. Is that okay? So we are experimenting at the top layer. The ruins is going to be, we're trying to pull it out a little bit. There's some technical reasons why it's not like fully fleshed out, but it's going to be a 7x7 size map. And I think that's going to kind of help for people that are coming in and not entering the crucible, the gauntlet right at the get-go, right? And so this also helps give each floor a separate identity.
Okay. So you're gonna make the map 7x7 like the water map is then.
Yeah. So that's we're gonna see. Internally we did the 7x7, and there's actually been some talk. It's like, oh, maybe this is even 7x7 is too small. Again, there's technical reasons why it's kind of difficult to even get to 7x7, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Are you shrinking? Are you shrinking then the hell level sizes back down to a smaller size, or are you leaving kind of like 4x4 or whatever, 5x5?
It's 5x5 right now. So this also goes in with some other changes that we're putting in right now that we're going. So like SDF promised last this season was the removal of the circle. And so once the circle is removed, we're adding in different ways of trying to control that amount of tension, right? So we're going to look at different combination of ways to escape, and then giving people enough guidance to get out. At the same time, give them a certain amount of agency. Mm-hmm. So what you'll see this time is that there's going to be improvements to the in-game map. So there's going to be more real-time information about the game session on the map.
Okay.
Right. Because we don't have the circle, right? The circle was the one. So again, I'm talking about all the normal modes, So like adventure mode, or we don't even call it adventure anymore. PvE, normal, and high roller. Squire to Riches is its own special mode now. It's like, so that has the circle, right? That's what makes Squire to Riches.
Right.
But we're talking about like the campaigns is that. Yeah, now I think he shared like a mock-up.
Yeah, there's like a mock-up of the map. One sec, let me. I just gotta switch to. All right, so there's a map mock-up for you, chat.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have like an active key that will be up on the map then.
Yeah.
Like just describing like what each like landmark is.
And we're trying to make it fully dynamic. It's not going to be fully dynamic at the start of the way.
Okay.
We want to have more information that also gives us more leeway to make the POIs, like the extracts and the downs, a little, for us to start playing with the mechanics there. We're not going to get that all in right at the start, but I think you'll see it with some of the current like ways extractions is that we've tweaked them to make it so, hey, there's always a level of kind of, hey, I have agency now to figure out, okay, I can always have a way out if I make the right decisions. Mm-hmm. But then there's always a level of risk, right?
Okay. Speaking of that, when it comes to like red stairs, at least like maybe not in normals, but maybe in HR at the very least, will there be like an interaction time on those doorways?
That's why I'm hinting at it, is that so right now we're adding those type of mechanics to the blues first. And so we are a little worried that hey, it makes it so again, because the size of the map, we're trying to figure out how far we could stretch it, and we're worried about like, how much tension. So the reds is we're going to see after kind of getting that kind of feedback. So I know what you're talking about, the interaction activation.
When you say with the blues, do you mean like blue portals, or are you talking about like the static blue exits? Because most all of them already have some type of interaction that's required aside from a select few, and that's really like in the static blues that you can take are really only in normal mode anymore. I mean, if you're talking like ruins, you already have the drawbridge. You know what I mean?
But the problem there was like it was only limited to the first person. Once it's open for everyone, right? And we think that that kind of reduces the amount of tension. And so those are the things that we're working on, is that, hey, you have a limited time gate, when it's safe. And then, hey, if you miss that opportunity, then you have to partake in that danger again, right?
Like I can understand the idea behind wanting to leave it open for like a certain time window. Like games like Arc Raiders, for instance, with the hatch doors, you see that they're only open for a handful of seconds. So I get the idea behind that, but I think the more important issue on our end of things is seeing that people just play off of the doorways, and then you have guys like Rat Meta stuff. They'll loot a corpse. They'll run down through a red door like real quick. They'll depot all the gear that they stole off of the body, and then they go to the next level and die on purpose because it doesn't matter, and then they just start over again.
크로우플레이. 그래서 그거는 지금 이제 그러니까 기업 밸류가, 기업 프라이스가 너무 높아서 그렇게 플레이하는 게 제일 효율적인 플레이인 게 문제인 거예요. 그거를 다른 시스템으로 다 막으려고 하면, 그러니까 그런 근본을 먼저 고쳐야 되는 거고, 그걸 다른 시스템으로 아티피셜리 다 막는 거는 원하는 건 아니다. 현재는.
And to be fair, it's not. To be fair, it's not that we think that people should just like let us kill them because we want to, right? It's just that it's when they benefit not just off of the effort of other people, but when they get that benefit for themselves, they then do not have to defend it in any way. They can just leave, right? And if the idea is that there's supposed to be some amount of risk, if there's no timer on the door, then they have no inherent risk. They didn't come in with anything. They loot whatever they wanted to get. If they end up getting lucky, great. And then they just leave. They don't have to defend it at all.
Yeah. So that's something we know that that's why I said there's active internal discussion about that. So we look at it as it's also linked to the value of the items. Like I said, one of the big pushes we're making this time is so the other thing is that when this system goes in, right? So because the circle is removed, right, is we're actually unifying the game mode or the game rules with the extraction stuff across all the PvE, adventure, normal, and the high roller. It's gonna all have one set of rules, right? Mm-hmm. And we're gonna start looking at tweaking the amount of tension with the amount, the location of escapes first, and we wanted to get that first to get a baseline before get the baseline for the risk reward there before we start making assumptions about so we know that the risk reward, like you're saying, that's an issue there with I have very low risk and I have huge returns by doing that kind of behavior and just zoinking out through the down portals. And so that's on the plate, but that's step 2, and we're almost we just need to see what the reaction is with step 1, because again there's going to be far fewer extraction points when it goes out. And so we're trying to figure out, okay, can we get this a decent baseline here? And then we'll start adjusting the risk-reward ratio for the down portals. That also has to do with the amount of down portals. We previously, the way that the original system was designed is that we didn't have fine control. So that was another issue, is you could go into crypts and there would be 5 down portals downstairs.
Right.
And it was just like, oh man, that was one of the side effects of our random system.
해주고 싶은 말은, 그러니까 우리가 레드스테어의 인터랙션 타이머 넣는 건 너무 쉽지만 그렇게 안 하는 이유는 그 크로우 플레이도 다 알고 있고 뭐 그런 것도 이제 그런 부작용 사이드 이펙트가 있는 건 알고 있지만 이게 이제 감옥이 되면 안 되잖아요. 그래서 스킬이 잘 못하는 플레이어들이 도망칠 수 있는 길이 있어야 되는데 우리가 탈출을 너무 쉽게 할 수는 없기 때문에 어떻게 보면 리스크를 감수하는 방향으로 좀 아래로 내려가더라도 도망칠 수 있게 만들어주고 싶었던 건데 이제 밑에 내려갔을 때 리스크가 없는 게 문제인 거죠.
So the last thing, so what the point he wants to, SCF wants to make is that, hey, because we don't want to err in the other go too far is like if we make all the down portals too risky or too risky, because we're already right now the big thing we're pushing for is to make escapes riskier, right? That's what's going to happen with this new set of rules. That's what we're pushing for. Is that if it makes that gets more risky along with the escape. We don't want to accidentally go too far. It's like, oh, now you're just in a jail. You're just in this small jail, like 5x5, where you're in with like these serial killers, right? So we want to go step by step, and kind of fine tune that.
Yeah, there's still a chance.
So you say we know about that. Let us do this big knob first, because I think extraction is that's the name of the genre, right? And we want to kind of get that into. Right now the range is too big, right? It's like, is this way too loose, or there's just there's zero chance of escape, and we want to make it kind of, hey, this is that range. If this is a good range, now let's look at the other alternative ways.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna say for the record, I kind of disagree with the idea, but I mean, it's like it's your game to make, man. It's like you guys are doing your thing. Okay. Somebody in chat had something. There was a good idea. Oh, chat's asking about Bard. If there's any more stuff going to be added to Bard.
Bard.
Nothing.
So he says there's nothing.
Nothing at the moment. All right.
Sorry.
Nothing at the moment. Yeah. That's all right. Yeah.
Just for fighter.
Gathering Hall.
So just fighter and barbarian.
Gathering Hall.
So the Gathering Hall right now is. So it was supposed to come out last season, and then our goal was to get it out this season. It's not going to come out with the live. Our goal is right now. So, what?
There also has a huge technical depth.
Yeah.
With the backend.
So it's basically we, when we're building up the game really fast, is that we leverage a lot of Amazon services, right? So there's a specific thing called
super expensive.
Yeah, it's 이름이 뭐죠?
GameLift.
Yeah, GameLift, right? So GameLift, so it's the reason we're able to do matchmaking and distribute the load very quickly and easily, right? But the thing is, like, we're just super heavily integrated into that, and so.
그래서 이제 멀티클라우드로 가서 우리 코스트도 좀 줄이고 하기 위해서 그 테크니컬 뎁트를 해결하는 시간 그걸 해야 이제 게더링홀을 만들 수 있기 때문에 같이 하고 있어서 조금 더 걸리고 있어요.
So we're trying to kill two birds with one stone with the Gathering Hall. Is to kind of the Gathering Hall is our excuse for building a new backend that doesn't involve GameLift at all, right? So we're building our own, load leveraging, load scaling. And then being able to go to multi-cloud, using different cloud providers, because Amazon GameLift is really, really expensive.
Okay.
So, that was the backside motivation. But because of this, is pulling off that one-on-one is we're hitting little technical challenges, right? So the goal right now is to get that on the test server. In February, so that's our internal goal right now, to get it out.
Okay.
At least you could test it, because we do foresee, like, hey, yeah, but he's saying that could change as it goes on.
Okay.
그래서 게더링홀은 잘 만들고 싶어서 조금 더 하고 있으니까 좀 미안하지만.
Yeah, so he wants to make the Gathering Hall worthwhile, right? It's like not just throw it out there. So, yeah, there's that technical hurdle, and then to make sure that when it is out there, is like, oh, okay, does this hint and show enough of the potential for the Gathering Hall, right?
Okay.
So he wants it to be a very like a community, and also a way for people to start like expressing themselves, with decorations and stuff.
Okay. At one point in time, you guys also mentioned that you were working on like a skill tree kind of thing for like a fishing system or in like mining and like that kind of stuff. Is that in or no?
It's not in EAS8, or it's not in at the start of EAS8. Yeah. So
okay. I'm just gonna go down this thing like rapid fire.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Okay.
I only want fishing.
Monk.
Not yet. So
okay. I'm just gonna go down this thing like rapid fire.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Okay.
I only want fishing.
Monk.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not yet.
Any new wizard spells on patch release?
Wizard?
Nothing.
So yeah.
Any new high loot points of interest on the maps?
Yes.
I mean, other than the addition, are there going to be like new module like loot POIs on the existing maps?
Yes, but we'll keep that a secret.
Okay.
So.
First level Frost Mountain. Will that be ever getting a boss?
Not soon.
Okay.
It's on.
Is there a boss in the Goblin like Hell level?
Hell level.
What? Yeah, the second level of Goblin Caves. Is that going to get a boss?
Yes. There's a big boss.
Big boss. Okay. Do you want to share what the big boss is, or do you want us to find out?
What do you know?
The Fire Colossus.
Yeah, it's called the Fire Colossus.
Okay. So is it like a giant fire golem? Lava golem? Or is it something different?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. My man Gloctane did videos testing like hundreds and hundreds of iterations of hitting a treasure pile in luck, and kind of made the determination that luck wasn't doing like shit. So is luck getting looked at?
Not right now. So I was sent that. So yeah. This we have to ask, hey, what's going on? Why did it? Because all the formulas and stuff are set properly. So, but right now everyone's overloaded with all the stuff getting ready for EAS8. Get that out there, and then we could do a little bit more investigating into what went wrong with the luck formula. Why it's not working. And maybe this is a good point for us to be like, okay, maybe the previous luck system, maybe we could rework it, make it more engaging.
So what's the expectation then for luck? Like what do you guys expect luck to do?
Oh, what it's supposed to be doing is that there's a different so every
like there's a bell curve, right? Like a certain number of tables, and it rolls, and like all of that, right? Is the idea to like take the shittier items off the table when you have more luck so that you get better shit, or like if somebody has 400 luck, like are they supposed to be like 10% more likely to get a legendary? Like how is it supposed to work?
No, so what it's supposed to do, it doesn't take the bad items off the table. Is what it does is as your luck goes up, is each grade has its own rate, of getting that item or getting that grade of item when it's first opened, right? Mm-hmm. And so you have the 7 grades. And what luck does is that it adds based on your luck, attribute, it adds a multiplier to each grade, right?
Okay.
And as the luck goes up, like lower grades, it adds like a negative multiplier. So the original rate starts to kind of start getting lower, right? So if it was like a 10% chance of like getting a common item, but then you have 400 luck and it's supposed to add like a 0.5 modifier. So that 10% becomes like 5%, right?
Okay.
It's not exactly like because it's
because concept.
Yeah, but so as you go up on the luck table, the modifiers actually get bigger at the very upper end. So it's like a 4x or 3x or 2.5x for like epic, and so we got to go see why that's not being applied.
Okay, all right, yeah, because it looks like it's not really changing much of anything, if at all.
There should be some.
Yeah, so it's got to be a bug then.
Okay. So with Sorcerer's time distortion getting removed so that there's no more instant cast, does Wizard still get their instant cast skill?
So he's saying it's not removed, it's getting changed.
It's getting changed.
인스타 캐스팅이 없어.
So there's no instant casting.
네, 캐스팅 스피드가 빨라지고.
And the casting speed got improved.
좀 바뀐 거니까 그냥.
So it's still that concept, but the details of it are changed.
Okay.
지금은 이제
So does Wizard get their instant cast perk then? Like their ability, their skill? Still?
Oh, so can you repeat that question?
Does Wizard still get their instant cast ability?
Because that's a limited skill.
Oh, okay, so he's saying because that's a limited skill. Yeah, so that's
reasonable.
He's saying that's reasonable. So his philosophy change right now is like he's trying to start to remove those stuff that makes the opposing player feel like, oh, this is horrible or this sucks, right? Trying to remove that kind of on the other end.
조금 포기하고.
But because of that, like the fantasy element and the kind of the power fantasy, he knows that he has to kind of start pushing that down a little. But to make when you're on the receiving end, you don't feel as bad, right? So it's like, oh, this is unreasonable, right? That's the word he was using.
Okay, so to rebalance Sorcerer, then are they getting just like a general like spell haste buff from something like TD? Is that how it's working? Or is knowledge going to be like a stat that like matters more now?
눈으로 봐야 돼요. 너무 많이 바뀌어서.
He's saying there's so many things that are changed about that you just have to go in and see.
그래서 캐스팅하고 머지 그다음에 이제 그 밀리 소설 있잖아요. 이 세 가지 빌드가 잘 살아나게 하는 거.
So his goal here is to have like the three different types of builds of the sorcerers still be viable, right? But he's saying the details are changed so much that you kind of have to go in and see it.
Okay.
So he's saying, look at the patch note. I'm in the same boat as you, so I have no idea what's going on the.
Are there any adjustments that are being made to true damage?
True damage를 뭐 바꾸는 거 있어요?
이제 random modifier에서 true damage는 없어져요.
Oh, so he says true damage is fully removed from all the random modifiers.
Max health,
okay,
speed 다 없어요.
And then he's also removing additional move speed and max health.
Or attributes. There will be no all attributes. Also.
And he's also removing all attributes from the random.
No all attributes anymore.
The static modifier에는
We're making moves.
Okay.
정말요?
네.
Okay. Oh, so
wait, what else?
But there's going to be some changes to the primary or the primary stats. The white color stats.
생길 수 있지만
to offset some of these
훨씬 더
okay.
컨트롤러블한 밸런스.
Yeah, so he's trying to kind of reduce the range of that randomness, I think.
Okay.
In terms of the Okay.
Okay. All right. So it sounds like there's going to be like a big shift with this next patch. Like it's going to be very mechanically different.
It's going to be mechanically different. I think from listening, like even is like there's going to be drastic balance changes, right? And I knew like before it's like, oh, he's trying to get away from the movement meta, right? So that was like the big little thorn is that he's like, oh, I really dislike having the movement meta in the game because it makes it hard to get into a little, makes it unintuitive. But we want it still to be a game of positioning, and so there's going to be dramatic changes to the balancing. What I was doing with my team was just focusing more on like the POIs, the maps, trying to get the adventure when you're in the dungeon. Start working on kind of making that feel like more of a venture, giving, making more POIs, kind of doing that kind of balancing. And then what we merge together is that we're trying to balance the economy together. Is like, our end goal is to make it so you start investing time, is that the bottom back end, starts rising up. So, hey, if I put in the 10, or 100 hours, it's like, hey, now at least I have the safety net of like having like, a good set of uncommon or rare items because I put in the time. And then, the other people that are coming up, support those people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
is there going to be, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So there's a lot of changes that are hard to, because it's just like line item, and it's like one by one. It's like these are things that all interact together to make the game supposedly feel better balanced, right? And again, our overall philosophy here was like, hey, make the game more intuitive, make the game that if put in the time, make progress, and then when you do suffer setbacks, it's not as harsh. That's basically the key words for season 8. So it's not really like, there's these big features. It's kind of like, the elephant in the room was like Arc Raiders came out, did outstanding. And I think we looked at it and we were saying how we have a lot to learn from that. And it's like, what are the things that they're doing really well there? And it's like, okay, let's try to see like, what are the ways that we can apply some of that stuff to our game without losing our identity.
Okay, so just to like kind of recap, the idea is that you're removing move speed modifiers from random rolls on gear, right? But you're also trying to, I guess, make the movement meta not so much a thing by giving players a little bit more mobility, like in general, so that they can be more mechanically sound when they're fighting toe to toe. So there's not going to be as much jump spam, and there's not going to be as much like movement speed stuff, because the idea is to incentivize fights and then reward people for their own skill. That's the idea?
Yes.
Okay.
But then on top of that, so that's the idea. But on top of that, the super challenge is, but still make gear worthwhile, right? Up to a certain point.
Right, because the moment that you start taking away random rolls that were like the most sought after things, that's going to devalue what it is that people are looting. And that's the stuff that people want: a true damage plus all and movement speed. Like those are the 3 biggest like things. Well, and plus health, I guess. But even then that's changing, right? So
히어로비트 챙기기를 좀 어려워졌으니까 그래서 그거는 없어지니까 헤드샷 데미지 레이쇼는 150%로 내려왔어요.
One of the other things he's saying is that the headshot multiplier is going to be reduced to 1.5 again.
Headshot multiplier is going back to 1.5x.
Yeah.
왜냐면 HP를 많이 챙길 수 없으니까.
Yeah, because it's going to be more difficult to get, durability with, with extra health and stuff, max health.
Okay. Because like people have less HP, so the crit doesn't need to be as high, I guess. Okay, let me see. So is there going to be like a general rebalancing of the damage system then in general? Like, are you trying to keep the time to kill like roughly the same?
TTK는
지금은 TTK는 그러니까 우리가 데미지는 바꾼 게 없기 때문에 그러니까 듀러빌티가 내려갔으니까 근데 이제 전체 아이템 파워도 조금 내려간 거잖아요. 트롤 데미지 이런 것들이 없어졌으니까. 그래서 뭐 크게 차이 못 느낄 수도 있지만 지금 조금 빠르다고 느낄 수도 있어요. 근데 봐야 돼요. 아마 느릴 수도 있어요. 오히려 반대로.
Yeah, so he's saying that
이건 정확하게 보기가 좀 힘들었어요.
It's because because durability went down overall, right? But at the same time, the damage didn't change. But at the same time, like, the true damage, all those kind of super spiky kind of,
네, 그래서 빌드에 따라서 좀 다를 거예요. 그리고 우리가 아이템 전체 그 프라이머리, 그 프리미티브 그 어트리뷰트를 계속 시프팅 했잖아요.
Yeah, so the primitive stats of the items were shifted too. So I think the overall power level is a little different, right? So it's like in our game live on the live server right now, it's like the TTK differs from like if you're all in blues, if you're in the upper end and you have like yeah, and so where is it's going to be more normalized. I think that's the thing you could say is that maybe at the very at the lowest end is that the TTK goes up slightly, but at the upper end it the time to kill it becomes longer, right?
Right. So if you remove true damage from random rolls, so does that mean like stuff like Frost Amulet still has its true damage on it? Like
그런 프리미티브 있는 거는 있을 거죠.
Frost Amulet은 이제
like Frost Amulet, yeah. The base stats on those still true?
But he doesn't recall exactly. So there was items that were
Frost Amulet이랑 피닉스 초퍼가 only one option 되는 거는 우리가 원하는 건 아니에요. 그게 아무래도 되는 거 원하는 거 아니어서.
He didn't want it to build. Always went with Frost, Phoenix Joker.
Yeah, I mean, like that's always been the go-to.
이제 트루 데미지 아닐 거예요, 제 기억에. 에디셔널이었던 것 같아요. 에디셔널 데미지로 바꿨을 거예요.
Yeah, so he thinks that true damage is removed from those items. It's probably additional damage right now. But again, he said that was being done like a month ago, so it's hard for him to know recall exactly.
People have been asking about like tumble for rogues. I mean, because that still is obviously going to provide mobility, but
there's no
adjustment to tumble for rogues.
Yeah, he said there's no adjustment. Not yet, he said. So
okay. Oh yeah, there was also mention of like you guys modifying the mob density in Nightmare, in High Roller of the Nightmare mobs. You had mentioned something about that already.
거긴 바뀐 게 없을 텐데.
Yeah, so in I guess it matters this where specifically. So like we said, High Roller Ruins is gonna feel a lot more spaced out because we put in these points modules that are specifically for lulls and stuff. So if it'll feel like, oh, okay, there's less density, but it's not like we went in and pulled out each individual monsters right now.
Yeah, I think it was just more along the lines of like when you ended up in a fight with some other guy, team v team, if you end up in a populated module, one team inevitably gets swarmed and it ends up kind of detracting from the fight that you're trying to have. And it slows down. It makes progression in HR really slow in some of those modules because of how many mobs are in them.
Yes. So I think that's another tool we have. This we're going to kind of look at, me with the level team is throughout season 8 is, hey, we could do a little bit more fine tuning for the levels. So what I'm mentioning here is that it also has to do with the party queue size for the maps too. Is that we're trying to do it for a certain part. If we make a module and it's balanced for one party size, like trios, and then if you go in with a solo, you're gonna feel completely overwhelmed, right? And so I think we have to do like a huge pass going through and like really rebalancing what we know now. A lot of these modules were made, like the older maps were made 2-3 years ago, right? And haven't really been properly rebalanced at all or even looked at. So but there's not like a big, hey, that's what we focused on right now. We had bigger fish to fry first. So
okay. Are there going to be any other modifications to Warlock or any additions to Warlock other than what you changed with TM?
Nothing.
Okay, nothing.
Okay. TM change. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Supposed to
can you ask about if Arena is going to be 3-stack? Meaning like people having like their own 3-man teams.
그거를 어떻게 할 건지.
그래서 그 솔로 트레시홀드를 좀 높일 거예요. 네.
Okay, so he's saying he's going to raise the limitation, the MMR limit where you have to go solo. He's going to raise that. He thinks that the issue was that it was too low, and so people were hitting it too early.
근데 이제 이게 만약에 별로 플레이어들이 재밌어하지 않으면 아마 그 솔로 트레시홀드는 없앨 수도 있고요.
But he says that.
이제 레귤러 시즌 보고.
Look at the how it goes during the next season.
네, and 이거는 시즌 단위로 바뀔 거니까요.
Yeah, and he's looking to if the feedback is not good, is that the subsequent Arena season, then he'll consider removing that completely.
Okay. Arena rewards for like rank stuff.
Arena, yeah. So that'll be announced. I think in March we're gonna show the yeah. Okay. So it's gonna be the same. It's gonna go out with the Adventure rank when we release those rewards, and so you work at this season, so you can get that whatever you want to show off for the next season.
Okay. People making Arena custom lobbies, if they wanted to do that themselves. Are you doing that like with the your own, I don't know, the guild hall thing?
Again, this is tied in with the Gathering Hall, because going back to killing two birds with one stone was that if once we get the Gathering Hall up and running, is that gives us that opportunity now to allow people to run, custom instances of the dedicated server. Dungeon, arena dungeons or tournament things. But it's all dependent right now on getting over that technical hurdle right now for the Gathering Hall first.
Okay. Will there be another grindy boss for like a rare drop to get a rare item like there was this past season with Stingray?
Stingray? No.
그건 너무 낮았죠.
Yeah.
이제 그런 변화는 시즌 중간에 되도록이면 안 하고 싶기 때문에.
Can I ask you, was I the first person to get the torch? Do you guys know?
or
did somebody beat me to it?
있잖아요. 사람이
I'm wasting time, Chad.
I don't know. We don't know. We can ask.
I was just curious. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Chad's gonna get pissed because I'm asking you questions that they don't give a shit about.
Just ask us later on. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Can you ask about US Central server?
Yeah. US Central server. So yeah, he has thoughts about that. I think right now it's the player numbers. Yes, again, I don't know if we could support that right now.
Okay.
Again, it's linked in with Amazon, because we use Amazon for everything right now. Is that it's more of a situation of, okay, do we have the player base to support that? Does it make sense for us that in that regard?
Okay. All right. So no custom stuff for now.
Not until Gathering Hall. So yeah. Okay. So anytime you see us, when we did the Dungeon Rivals last time, is basically what we do is we make an entire full stack of our entire system for that. Is just to run that one server or one instance, right? And so we know that's we got to move away from that. That's all that research and development that's going into Gathering Hall. Once we get that completed, then now it opens up a whole bunch of opportunities for it.
Okay.
Even on the live.
Any changes to gold storage, or are you keeping gold storage the same?
Yeah,
gold storage.
We're gonna make it. So the other thing is, we're looking at making, the how cumbersome like gold is right now is not. We're looking at ways to make that less cumbersome, right? So giving you ways to expand your inventory quicker, giving more ways to store it. And then one of the things on the topic is, okay, how do we, should we make it so you can store more per slot, per bag? Mm-hmm. So that's something in discussion right now, but right now we haven't made an actual decision specifically on the amount of gold.
Yeah, because there always ends up being a placeholder item, right? It was keys, and then it was, I don't know, unique emeralds or something, and then it was, now it's death blooms. So it shifts.
There's going to be, and we're also kind of leaning into that for this season, is like we're going to have those different kind of POIs is that have kind of mid-value POI items, drop areas, and items that actually have have that actual value if you wanted to convert it into gold directly. So we're making some of the instead of like that, the death blooms, it's like there's going to be specific items that you can actually trade in to the merchant for tens of thousands of gold. Yeah.
Okay. And then people are asking if the egg torch skin will be in the store this season or next season or whatever.
스토리가 이제 이번에 스토어에 나올 건데.
이번 시즌 안 나오죠. 다음 시즌에 나오죠.
Yeah, it's gonna go out next season. Yeah.
So not season 8, season 9.
He wants to make it.
Okay.
Yeah, season 9.
One season
because specifically this time it was so difficult that the people that went through all that trouble, we were like, okay, we'll give you guys that that little bit of extra exclusivity time, to kind of. Hey, I was one of those people that went through that pain and suffering to get that. Yeah.
우리는 그건 이제 다음엔 좀 그렇게는 안 할 거다.
Yeah, and so the thing is, in the future, we don't want to do.
미안하게 생각하고 있어요.
Yeah.
근데 이제 그걸 그라인딩한 사람들을 또 disappoint.
Yeah, so we didn't want to disappoint the people that grinded this season to get that, right? So that's why we're extending the exclusivity time.
Right.
But in the future, we're gonna move away from making those kind of rewards that require that heavy amount of RNG and grinding.
Guys in chat keep spamming ask about artifact drop rates, but you're not saying what you want to know about artifact drop rates.
Oh, so again, things are gonna be a little different with the way that we're kind of making it so you could target POIs and stuff, and with that. For POIs to really be POIs is that the risk to reward ratio has to match. And I think with a lot of what we're trying to do is make some of the risky stuff more risky. So that also in turn means that the reward should be better, right? So I'll leave it at that.
So can you nerf the artifact drop rates and make them more rare just to trigger people? I think they would really enjoy that.
Can we nerf that?
Yeah. Because they're asking for them to be increased. So I think it would make sense to just make them worse, right? Right, chat?
So, you guys want that? All right.
Don't fucking ask that. See, they're getting mad already.
That was one of the issues with this last season is we reduced that rate and made it so even the people that were trying to farm the artifacts, they gave up and they're like, okay, I'm just going to farm other people that bring in good items, right? And so I think there was, a negative feedback loop that happened with that. So again,
여기 좋은 채팅인데 luck 고치면 나한테
Oh yeah, dude. Once we fix luck too with the better artifact rates, is I think now luck will be even better, right? So.
The lack of an MMR system and how the highest level players are matched up against fresh players, which is a huge killer of the player base. They have game modes designed for fresh players. What do you need MMR brackets for?
Yeah.
But didn't we had those at one point? Didn't we have? Well, we had gear score brackets.
Okay. So we also did MMR brackets in normal a long time ago. Like we joke about that. We've gone through pretty much every single type of matchmaking system in the back end. Again,
matchmaking tool 1000개 있고 싶으면은 할 수 있죠.
Yeah. So the side effect of trying to split all these matching pools is that it just makes more matching queues, right? And so our philosophy right now is like, okay, let's try to just keep it at a limited amount that's still pretty big, right, for I think our current population base, but at the same time it gives freedom. When we try to reduce it too much and take away the freedom, like this early this season where High Roller was just a random dungeon. I think that the loss of agency there had a bigger negative effect than the amount of supporting the larger amount of matching queues. So
okay, and then I guess finally, because we're getting up here in like 2 hours now. There's you guys are doing Twitch drops things starting on the 30th, right?
Yeah,
so 30th to the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we're going from
so
the 30th to the 12th, and then, but you guys are
2 weeks.
It's a little different this time around, right?
Yes. So the SSF period before, generally we've been doing the first 2 weeks. We close off the marketplace, right? Is that, hey, we've seen those responses like, okay, I'm done. Hey, that was an awesome season for the first 2 weeks. See you next season, kind of. So we're curious. So this season we're actually extending that so another week. So we're going to do the 3 weeks of SSF to see.
Self-found is 3 weeks this time.
So the no marketplace, no trading post for the first 3 weeks.
Okay.
We need to check.
Yeah. Correct. And we want to see like, oh, okay. We do see like, a fall off after the second week. And we want to see, hey, is this really due to people leaving because of the SSF mode disappearing? If we see like, hey, this fall off happens at the third week, it's like, oh, okay, there's definitely a direct correlation now with SSF event and people leaving, right? So but that's why we're extending it. On top of this is that around that time is we're planning for the first kind of big feature that's going in this wave is we're going to put in like our version of the hideout, kind of it's going to be the workshops.
Yeah, I was going to ask because there was a workshop tab in the one image that you shared.
Yeah. So it's basically 그거
아직 안 보였지만.
Oh, you have an image of it too?
So
여기.
Yeah, so the workshops it's supposed to come out. We're trying to complete it in time for when the marketplace opens because we think that it integrates with that.
Well, yeah. So did you have it? Did you have an image that you were sending me of it? Did you want me to share it? I haven't seen it. You don't have to. I just didn't know if you had one that you wanted to send.
The current in-game screenshot just says coming soon, and people are gonna rag on us for whatever that means. But coming soon this time really does mean coming soon. So
okay. So there's gonna be like a hideout like feature kind of thing.
No, so it's just more workshop. It's basically I guess it's closer in kin to what you saw in Arc Raiders, I guess.
Okay.
With the workbenches and stuff.
Yeah.
It was something like, we wanted to do hideouts long time ago. And so it's just, hey, this time, just internally, the way like the resources kind of, the programming resources kind of came out was like, oh, hey, we have resources here that we could work on this. But it was, again, it's a kind of substantial feature. So the original goal was supposed to be EAS8. It's going to come out, a couple of weeks later.
Any changes to Faustian Bargain?
Yeah, so there's new monsters. And new balance. Like we kind of overtuned it in terms of like the quest and the how much participation you had to do to get the quest. So there's little balancing changes. Again, the eventual goal is to make this be kind of its own little game mode. But right now it's just adding on to it. So there's more monsters. A little bit more variety.
Will Faustian be turned on in HR again?
Not yet.
Not yet. So the eventual goal is to get to a point where, when it gets to it's like its own kind of game mode. It's like, hey, now High Roller is even more high tension, high stakes, because the monsters from the beginning are people that are going to be the expert monster players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a murder.
Yeah, like the murder. So the inspiration here is again like a little bit from Dead by Daylight, right? So
right. Okay.
Like you have the guys that are really good at playing the murderers, right?
Yeah, I mean it's fun. It's been good for a couple like.
So right now.
그것만 플레이하는 유튜버들이 조금 있어서 되게 재밌게 보고 있어요.
Yeah. So, but the eventual goal he's saying is that there's some streamers already that are just that all they do is they just play for Faustian Bargain. So it's like, hey, okay, flesh that out eventually, but not now. Yeah.
Okay. Any changes with gems or gemming, or is that system the same?
Yeah. Socketing will be expanded. I think not being able to do the primitive or the primary stats on socketing this past season really hurt. So it's like it's the rich get richer kind of thing. Again, the philosophy for this upcoming season is the exact opposite. Is like, hey, let's help the people that are trying to come up. Have a bigger middle class kind of, and so we're gonna make multiple ways to kind of close that gap, right? If you put in the time, if you put in the work, you get lucky. So that's the gem system, the socketing system, the crafting system is being reworked a little bit, and then the workshop system. So the workshop are ways that you can kind of convert your trash into better items.
Okay, that's kind of cool. People are asking about making the trade window bigger, like a bigger inventory to be able to trade items at once.
The trading post is
like the grid, the inventory grid for trading.
He's like, no.
No. I mean, the smaller size has more transaction cost, I guess, when you're doing that. But people are asking, like, is there going to be a new artifact on the lava boss, the golem boss, in the
new artifact?
New artifact.
Yeah, not this time.
근데 그 도쿄 게임 플레이어들한테 리퀘스트 받은 것들도 있고.
네.
그다음에 우리가 컨테스트에서 우선 아티팩트는 앞으로 좀.
Yeah, so he's not gonna. He didn't make any new artifact this season, but because we had that the contest to design the artifact, we have to put that.
Oh, right.
And then we also had direct requests when he went to the Tokyo Game Show from the hardcore players there. It's like, oh, got some ideas from there. So not this season, but he has thoughts for continuing adding in the next batch of artifacts.
Okay. All right. We're getting down to the end, boys. We're getting down to the end. Some of your questions just aren't going to get asked. I'm sorry. All right. I know y'all are spamming like crazy. And no change. Is there any changes to Rogue at the start of the wipe? The next season?
Rogue? 앞으로 뭐 있어요?
로그는 없어요. 로그는
He said no changes to the Rogue.
그리고 그 사람들이 질문 많이 하고 있어요. druid은 이제 슈퍼 점프는 안 될 거고요.
So he said there's no super jumping with the druid now.
그건 안 될 거고. 그 다음에 근데 이 얘기는 해주고 싶어요. 그러니까 사람들이 퀘스트가 되게 많으니까 그 인벤토리 소트랑 서치는 어떻게 좀 해주고 싶다 이런 마음이.
Yeah. So okay, he said he was looking at the chat, and so he saw that people have a lot of requests for inventory sort and
auto sort button.
And
he went on and he went on Yami's stream. He's like he promised that, and he wants. So the reason it didn't come out again, it's so dependent on the inventory system.
그것도 우리가 좀 어글리하게 만들면 얼마나
So the thing is, he hates doing these kind of hacking ways to put in features, but we've already done it this time with the quiver that's going in. It's very not elegant. So he's like,
just 2 hours work.
Okay.
I really doesn't like that.
You know, he hates doing that. The spaghetti code
and
hard coding and all that. But he's like,
근데 플레이어들이 원하는 게 더 중요하니까 이제 원하는 게 빨리 해주자 이런 생각이 좀.
Now he's changing that mentality. It's like, oh, it's more important to just get it out there for you, even though it's ugly for me. So he's like, okay, that's why it wasn't going in. So he's saying he has a change of mind, change of heart, just hard bashing in the auto sort.
Oh, and then there was an inventory bug where you could like swing your weapon while you were in your inventory.
Yeah, inventory 버그가 있는데 inventory 보고 있는데 이거를
공격이 되는. 그 문제는 알고 있었고, 근데 지금 그게 되게 랜덤하게 나오고 있어서 정확한 그걸 몰라요.
Okay, so they know about that bug.
이번 시즌 초부터 알고 있었는데.
So yeah, he said he knew about it from the start. But the problem is that it occurs so. They don't know how to recreate that bug right now.
Okay. 계속 발생하는데 그 정확한 컨디션을 못.
So, Chad, if any of you guys know how to recreate that bug, just saying.
Maybe 알고 있을 거예요. 그래서 조금 알려주면 최선을 다해서 수정해. 그거 엄청 불편하거든요.
Yeah, so he says he knows how frustrating that is.
제 크로스보우 그냥 나가버리고.
Game population has been consistently decreasing. What's the plan? Oh, clearly they want it to continue to go down, man. That's why they work so hard.
So the plan right now is this season is just fix the economy, stupid, right? So for EA S8, so what we saw is that the player numbers do go down, as the season progresses. But what we're interested in is the slope, how it decreases, and then what the minimum base it sustains at, right? Because I think that's a better indicator for us is like, that the health of the system and so for us is that the last season not having proper smoothing and then not being able to progress properly and having those big gaps between the haves and the have-nots was a really big issue for us. But at the same time, when we looked at the overall slope and the remaining bandwidth, was that it actually, with all things considered, with how bad those systems were balanced right now, is that it was better than expected, right? So the thing is, this season is to actually fix that and then to reduce the grade of that slope, the downward slope, before we start throwing in money to actually do a lot of marketing. So the thinking behind here is that even with the situation as it is right now, is that we are still with almost zero active marketing push right now, is that organically we're still getting thousands of players coming in every day, right? And so what we're seeing is that, but because of these kind of fundamental, economic issues, is they'll go and they'll bounce off, right? Because they can't get over that first hump. And so that's why this time we focused on getting that gating done properly. Like you're saying, it's like, okay, we don't have an actual MMR system with the matchmaking right now. Is that, but then we do have ways, we have modes, right? The problem is getting that information, educating people of, oh, okay, stay in this mode until you get comfortable, and then, you know, you could start gradually going into the modes that you should be at that comfort level of going into. So that's part of thinking behind the big kind of presentation changes this upcoming wipe. Once we stabilize that, if we see that, hey, okay, the grade feels better, there's a you know, decent bandwidth here, and we'll start throwing in money. You know, the way for us, we look at it is like, it doesn't do us a lot of good. When we have a decent baseline, to throw in money where we have this big hole in the bucket, you know, we're losing new players this quickly.
Okay.
So.
All right. Well, I suppose we'll check out the new patch when it comes out, and I think we're all looking forward to it. It's there's some cool stuff wrapped in here. It's gonna be trying out like a lot of this this mechanical shift is gonna be interesting. So
it's gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys got any like closing thoughts that you want to share with everybody?
그냥 너무 늦게 원하는 것들 해줘서 미안하다고 얘기하고 싶어요.
Yeah, so he's saying he's really sorry that it took him so long to come to realize, you know, to get you guys what you actually wanted so late.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time. It's been a solid couple of hours. I appreciate you guys taking the time to respond to all the questions that everybody had. And I guess we'll see you for the patch, and hopefully things go off pretty well.
Yeah. So Wonpeg, thanks as always for giving us this opportunity to
sure,
reach out directly to the community. I know there was a long instance of a long time of radio silence this time is because the situation was pretty dire, and for us it's like, okay, we wanted to put our heads down and then just kind of start fixing the actual fundamental cracks. So, and like I said, like what we talked about, there's a lot of stuff that had to be addressed, right? So, it's going to be a little shocking, but at the same time, I think people that have played Dark and Darker for a long time, is like it still should be Dark and Darker, but now with the beginnings of polishing. Yeah. So,
okay.
We had a lot of Lego blocks, and we just kind of threw it out there. Do what you want. Now we're saying, oh, okay, here's the Lego. We package it, and here's a little instruction manual. That's the difference.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're all looking forward to it, man. So hopefully everything goes well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. All right. All right.
Okay.
Later. See you
in a couple days.
Bye. Yeah, a couple days. All right. All right, boys. There you go. Look, it's you. Snarry wanted me to ask, can you please ask about with Wipe coming up and y'all's history of fucking shit up, delaying it? Will you guys be posting the Wipe to test servers? And then he got mad. Man, fuck this shit. Man can't even ask questions that actually fucking matter. Some of you guys, I swear to God. I mean, granted, they made mistakes. I'm not denying that. I'm not denying they make mistakes, but damn, dude, learn how to frame a question. Like, hey, fellas, you know how y'all been fucking shit up like crazy in the last, year and a half? You know how you guys were really fucking shit up? You know those mistakes you were making like mad? Yeah, that's really gonna get me a follow-up. They just fucking hang up. Too funny, man. And I mean, and not for nothing, I did ask that question. I just asked that question 20 different ways about like a bunch of different mechanics.